Hey, Dr. Hammer. This is Rachel, obviously. I'm doing my film review for me and Earl on The Dying Girl. To begin with, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Typically, I don't like sappy movies like that, but I think this movie was pretty good. So just to get into some film terms and the archetype, since the archetype is the journey, I'm thinking that, I'm assuming Earl, the main character, or not Earl, Greg, Greg, the main character, went on the journey, and I think the journey is supposed to be an emotional journey, maybe like finding himself, change of mindset type of journey. I guess specifically the journey may be maybe him trying finding some type of worth in his life, because it kind of seemed like he was trying to be invisible purposely, didn't want to really be noticed by people, avoiding to go to college so you want to have to be noticed by people. But then by the end of the movie, he's noticed by people and he's going to college. He kind of has to change his mindset, which I guess goes hand in hand with his arc as well. Um, yeah. Earl, I don't think he really had a arc, and Rachel, she 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 seemed to have like a downfall type of arc, because at the beginning when she first got cancer, she didn't seem as depressed by it, or she still seemed kind of optimistic, or at least her typical normal self. And then later in her treatments, it's like she was ready to die. So seems like she kind of hit a downfall. Let's see, conflict. I think Earl may have had a man versus himself conflict, and that can be seen with him going through his arc and I guess realizing himself, him realizing what life is all about, or something like that. So yeah, I think he may have just had a conflict with himself, maybe like more in denial. And Earl kind of talked about that, how he wasn't really the type of person to label people as his friend. But then at the end of the movie, he realizes that he actually really does care about Rachel, and that Rachel is a friend. And he just seemed to have some kind of internal conflict, and that can also be seen when he has that breakdown with his mom, and he's talking about all the problems that he's going through and how his life seems to be in shambles now. That's when he's like internally having a conflict with himself. The thread. I think the thread is their films that they were showing throughout the movie. Thread. Maybe also the moose and chipmunk little cartoon scenes. Those seem to just come throughout whenever that pretty girl is always showing up, and maybe a thread as well. Foreshadowing. There's honestly false foreshadowing in the movie, which I definitely thought that Rachel wasn't going to die, even when they were in the hospital bed and he was showing her the film on prom night. I was still thinking like, oh, she's gonna pull through, she's not gonna die, until he actually says that she dies later, which I was really surprised. Like I really fell for that false foreshadowing. But then I guess it could kind of still be seen like when the teacher was talking about when his dad died, and that he can still learn new things about his dad even though he's dead. And then Greg goes through the same thing. So that could be some foreshadowing too. The moral and social commentary. I feel like it has to do something with with like death and life, obviously, because Rachel dies. So I feel like it's something that's to do with um, like don't take life for granted, because you may end up dying. Like make the most out of your life, something along those lines. There's like stop letting life pass by um, with no importance or any meaning, and start to do something with your life, which Rachel must have um, been able to open up Greg's eyes in that type of way. All right. Oh, the cinematography and the lighting and the sound. I really liked a lot of the music selections in that movie, and the camera angles were a little bit different compared to other movies. I don't know how to describe it specifically. Like I remember one scene when when Greg first hangs out with Rachel, and they're sitting in her room, and Greg is sitting on the couch or her little couch sofa, and Rachel's at her desk, and they had a scene or a screenshot where Rachel is closest to the camera and Greg is sitting off into the distance, and it just made it seem like the way that camera angle was, like there was a ton of distance between the two of them, which I thought that's interesting news because they first started hanging out with each other. They don't really know each other like that, so they're both kind of distant to one another. And then as the movie goes on, it shows them being closer and closer. So I thought things like that. The cinematography was pretty good. I like the different angles, um, and I like the music as well. It went along with the movie. All right, I'll end it there. See ya in class.